Hi everyone, my name is Susan Carrier. I'm just going to tell you some reasons why you should join the military. I was in the Army for 15 years and most of the time I really truly enjoyed the time that I spent there. So I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the military. I was living in Belfast, New York. My parents were very poor, so I decided to join the Army. College just wasn't for me back then, and I wasn't ready to go to college and be successful when I was 19 years old. So when I decided to join the Army, it was because my husband at the time, he was going in, so I went in with him to do the same thing at the same time. I really didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into, but I did know that I wanted to do it and do it well. So I joined back in 2000, and during my time in Germany, I got called up for a deployment. So I deployed to Iraq in 03, and it was very hard to leave my family, but I didn't have kids at the time, so it was okay. So I made the best of it. I've done a lot of things in my life, and one really great thing that I did when I was in the Army, I was deployed and I got to sit on the tail of a Chinook helicopter and fire an M60 Delta machine gun over the Kuwaiti-Iraqi border. That was one very awesome experience, and I don't know many people that can say they did that. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. My commander finally decided it was okay, and I was only 22 years old, and I was able to do that, and it was an experience of a lifetime, let me tell you. So the Army instills values upon you that you don't always get from another job. You know, there's leadership skills. I took 2 leadership courses, and during my time in the military, you're just kind of given tasks to do that are above and beyond, and you just learn and you take it and you run with it, and it's just a place to grow as a leader. So you learn a crazy sense of duty. You know, everything I want to do is always based off of duty. So if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna do it diligently, and I'm gonna make sure that it gets done successfully. And respect is my favorite value. Respect and any kind of respect is good to do. So if you treat someone the way you want to be treated, then it's going to work out for you in the long run. Selfless service, that's basically putting yourself out there and being selfless, doing anything you can for other people, no matter what situation it is or what the circumstance is. Honor, integrity, and personal courage, those are more values that I've learned throughout the military. You know, these are just values that you get that you really don't get in a lot of other organizations. I love the camaraderie the military has. Basically, everybody I met in the military, they're all my friends, you know? I've never really made any enemies. I mean, there's a few people that don't like me because I'm kind of a stickler sometimes when it comes to paperwork and doing the right thing. But for the most part, in general, everybody that I've met in the military, they're like family to me now. Then there's the GI Bill that you can get if you're active duty. I'm currently going to college for my bachelor's degree in business administration, and the Veterans Administration is paying for my college. They're paying for all my tuition and for my books and giving me a stipend to go to school. There's also a sense of pride that comes with being in the military and serving your country. I am proud that I serve my country, and I'm happy for my fellow soldiers that serve their country, and everybody should be feeling prideful if they've served their country. It shouldn't be like, oh, they serve their country, then no big deal. I feel bad that some people are like that, but I like when people actually show respect for our men and women in uniform. I like that you get to travel. In the military, I've been to Germany, I've been to Fort Knox, Kentucky, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. I have been to Iraq, Kuwait. I've been even to Baghdad. I mean, there's so many places that I've been since I've been in the military. Also, Arkansas. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Maybe Illinois. I've been to so many places you wouldn't even believe it. And I wouldn't have been able to travel, if I didn't join the military. There is a sense of financial stability that comes with the military. I always had a paycheck, no matter what, and I had a house, and I had my insurance. I didn't have to pay extra money for my health insurance to come out of my paycheck like I do now. So that's a huge benefit, because they give you a cost of living allowance on top of which is called BAH, and they also give you another stipend for your dependents. There's all this money that you get for serving your country, which is well deserved, but it's definitely a huge benefit to be able to be financially stable. It instills discipline. So the military has all these ways to instill discipline. So you go through basic combat training, and it teaches you basically how to respect the people that outrank you. It kind of breaks you down and builds you back up again so that you can be successful in the military. So if you were to deploy and go to a combat zone, you have to be ready and willing and able to take orders, but also be able to stand up for yourself and your soldiers when need be. I have never had so much accountability and responsibility as I did in the military. At one point, I had up to $300 million worth of property and equipment that I was accountable for. So we would do these change of command inventories, and they were very in-depth and detailed. So you inventory every component of every end item to ensure that it's all there and there's nothing missing. And if something's missing, I would have to, do a statement of charges or a report of survey to make sure that everything is accounted for. And if somebody had to be charged, I would have to charge them as well. And there was also a 15-6 investigation that I would have to do as well if it was a major item. Like, say, one time we had this machine gun, like I told you, that I fired out of the Chinook. The machine gun fell, and it wasn't harnessed onto the helicopter. It fell out of the bird, and we had to do a 15-6 on that because we never found it. Isn't that crazy? We never found that weapon. So the responsibility and the accountability, it's a huge factor, and it does really, wonders for me. It made me mature faster and to learn responsibility when it came to learning and going to school, because I went to college before I joined the Army, and I didn't really have any accountability of my own actions. All I was worried about was playing sports and my boyfriend and everything to do with anything but responsibility. I wasn't worried about getting my own place, but once I was in the Army, I already kind of knew. It all fell into place, and I knew how to take care of myself and hold my own. So when it comes to the military, I'm a huge advocate, and I believe that anybody should join if they're physically and mentally capable to do so. And I also think that people should really go before they go to college, because you'll be more successful in the long run. Thank you for your time.